Jordan, interesting issue, and that was Gallup, which is a very respected polling agency, said, what's the most important problems facing the country today? And their answer was?
Leadership. So it wasn't the economy. It wasn't number one, but it was that basically that everything is being managed poorly. And so what's interesting is inflation was number one for most of the past year. But 21% of Americans said that, and then it was 15% who said so last year. So it's gone up. So the fact is, people I think say, wait, is it really just inflation, or is it just this is all being managed poorly, which is why we have inflation, why we have war in Europe, why we have all these issues is it starts with the leadership. It's not just one-offs. So I think that it's probably all of those things combined. It's that we're still talking about where are we economically?
Yes.
And we don't really get a clear indication of, are we coming out of this? Are we back into this? They just announced today they're going to end the COVID emergency in May. So that's a long time still.
5 months.
And so they're going to come up with another emergency, which we talked about already, which was abortion. So they don't really want to give up those emergency powers.
It's interesting. They wanted
that also affects immigration.
They want to get. Yeah, I was going to say they want to get rid of the COVID restrictions in May, which makes sense. And then at the same time, they're saying they're not going to apply Title 42 on the border because the COVID pandemic is over. I mean, this is where the lack of trust. But let me give you another little lack of trust that's not getting as much attention as it normally would, although I suspect it will be in the next 24 hours. The FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, went into the office of the now President of the United States, then President-elect of the United States. Well, actually, he was President of the United States at the time. It was November of this past year. And searched his office for classified documents. This has never been disclosed. It was about the same week that Merrick Garland appointed the special counsel against Donald Trump. This is where the lack of government transparency, and that's why we've got a FOIA request to the National Archives under expedited review right now.
Yeah, so remember it was, we found out that it was a week before the midterm election, November 2nd, when Joe Biden's private attorneys notified the FBI they had found these 10 documents at the Penn Biden Center. Now we know that about, they said mid-November, so I mean, days after that,
right,
the FBI was in that office looking for more classified documents. So that the first time the FBI went to a Joe Biden property was not his home in Wilmington last month. It was, this month. It was, they went way back in November and still decided to appoint a special counsel against Donald Trump. This is when Merrick Garland leadership questions. We put a weak attorney general, it ends up backfiring on you, and it can backfire on Joe Biden. Because there he goes. Knowing this information, he said, let's do a special counsel on Trump, which means he knew he was going to have to appoint one eventually on Biden.
Of course.